Okay, Team Mr. Simon here. We're going to show you how to wax a ski properly. So, first thing you want to do is just give the ski a wipe down. This is just going to be some half water, half rubbing alcohol, right? So we're going to just want to wipe down that ski. Get it nice and clean so we have a clean working surface. From there, we're going to start with our wax. I got my iron already plugged in. It is hot. We're going to be using some basic wax. When you get your wax, you're going to want to look on the manufacturers on the actual wax, and you're going to see on here, right? It will have the melting temperatures. So this one is saying 130 degrees. So you want to match that over here on your iron. So check and see what wax you have. You're going to turn your iron upside down, and you just want to make sure you're getting a good drip. Now, we don't need to use a ton of wax, all right? I just want a couple of drops every 6-8 inches, right? I don't need a bunch of wax. I can always add more wax, right? We're going to scrape all this wax off at the end, so it's easier to if I want to add more wax to the tip, that's great. You can do that. So we want to work in small sections and just get that base nice and warm, get that wax warm, so you're getting that base is going to absorb the wax. Okay, when you get it hot, it's going to turn into kind of like a sponge. Really absorb that wax and let that wax penetrate deep into the base of the ski. And then we're going to just continue to go back, keeping everything nice and warm, and just get a nice workflow going. All right, so I'm going to just work down here to the next section, heating that up, always working from the tip of the ski to the tail of the ski. All right, heating these up on that section. I'm going to just keep this, since this up here is still going to be nice and warm, right? Because I'm not letting it just cooling off completely. Every now and then, coming back to that section, moving into the next section, getting that nice and warm. Making sure your whole ski is getting wax applied. I like to keep the cord on the side of the plug away from me. I feel like it's easier than when I have the iron facing the other way, and I'm always working with the cord. I can see here I'm getting really good wax. I'm going to need maybe to add just a little bit more wax in this section. Again, that's easy to do, right? Instead of having like a 1/4 inch of wax on my whole ski, that's a good way to waste a lot of wax, is just starting by too much wax. You just need enough wax to cover and coat the ski. You don't need a thick layer of wax. You're not frosting a cake. So now that we have wax on kind of the whole thing, again, we're going to just start nice and slow. Beautiful. Now I got that nice layer of wax on the whole ski. One even layer, one more smooth pass, going the whole way. Okay. Now, in theory, we would take this ski off, let this ski cool down, and work on the other ski. Okay? Because you want to let that wax be nice and cool, right? Be careful because the wax could still be hot. The ski should have some warmth underneath on the top coat. If you've done that correctly, that means you are getting good heat all the way through the ski. So we're going to let that cool down completely, and then we're going to scrape. For that, we're going to use a scraper. You can scrape one of two ways. One, first let's make sure, I'm going to unplug the iron, get that out of the way so we don't get burned by that. So on our scraper, we can scrape one of two ways. One, we can stand here and we can push going this way. Two, we can keep the bevel towards us and we can pull. It does not really matter. Either way is just fine. A lot of times with a scraper, I like to use two scrapers, and make sure you start with a nice clean edge, because it can get caked on with wax. Snowboard scraper, ski scraper. So let's say the ski's rested for like 10 minutes. I'm gonna cut the video, let the ski rest, and we'll come back. All right, second part of the video, finishing our ski off. Already put all the wax down. Now scraping. So again, you can either push away from you or pull towards you. I go both. I'm going to start pushing away, and I am pushing in. I want to scrape off as much of this wax as possible. On the back side, you got to clean that off every now and then. Get a sheet of wax going. All right, you're going to have wax that's scraping out all that wax. All right, that's wax. Now we have this little cutout part right here that we're just going to go along and clean up our edges. Make sure we got those nice and clean. All right. We're going to wipe everything down one more time, and then we gotta run over this one more time. If you don't have brushes, this is adequate to ski on. This will do just fine. This is better than nothing, right? If you have a kit with brushes, right? It should come with 3 brushes. A nylon, that's going to be your yellow, that's your heaviest brush. Then a brass brush, it's going to be your medium. Then a horsehair brush, that's your fine brush. You're starting with your heaviest brush, that nylon. We're just going to brush this out. That is just going to move any excess wax off of your ski. Next one, grass brush. Grass brush done. If I was doing this, not trying to make the video shorter, you may want to do each one about 4 to 5 times. I'm only going to do it like 2 for the sake of this video. Alright, that ski is now nice and smooth. Done. One final wipe down. All done. That's how you wax your skis.